question we get from agency owners like you listeners is, should I hire somebody part-time or full-time for this account management role? We have our thoughts, of course, but there's some key things that you should think about when it comes to determining what you need in your hire.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
So when we started Dot & Company a number of years ago, our goal was to help agency owners who needed premium talent, someone who's super efficient, but not necessarily full-time hours. And some things that agency owners would say is, okay, that's great, but I don't know how to find this person. I don't know how to train this person. I don't want to manage somebody. It's just me and my agency. I don't want to have to bring somebody in and have to be responsible for them. But there's some key things that we like to consider when it comes to full-time versus part-time.
So definitely part-time versus full-time comes up often. And I think there's definitely a time and place for both. So sometimes the client account management piece does get rolled into a whole bunch of other parts that the business needs. And that's really when you want to consider a full-time employee. If you have other tasks that you think an account manager could help with, whether that be admin, strategy, managing team members, and there's enough work to really fill up their plate, then definitely go full-time. That makes a lot of sense. You want that kind of dedicated person that's living and breathing the agency and kind of extends beyond the accounts and the clients. That's definitely something that you want to look at when you're hiring a full-time or when you're looking at part-time versus full-time. There are often other tasks that are under the account management umbrella, and they can certainly be done by somebody full-time. So things like that you want to consider when you're looking at full-time client account management. And then something else you want to look at too is your future. If you're scaling very fast and you're making a ton of money and you have that money to fund somebody full-time and for a long time as you grow and scale and really invest in that person, that's actually a huge takeaway as well. And to have somebody kind of start and grow together, that can be a really huge asset to your team and really comes from a full-time employment. And kind of the other piece of that whole puzzle and what people often come to us and the problem we can solve, but with a full-time employee comes a little bit more risk, a little bit more work on your end and the agency end. So there is a risk to hiring full-time, and it just has to be something that you're okay with taking and something that you're okay with absorbing if things don't really go as planned. So lots of things to consider when full-time is being determined. And I think the huge takeaway there is that you're going to a place that can really support this full-time employee in a way that they can really grow with you and your agency.
Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, when it comes to a part-time account manager or someone like us at Dot, so if you're growing your agency and you're hitting this point of scale where you just simply can't take on another client because it's all falling back on you, that's the time to consider bringing in an account manager. And at that point of scale, you are so urgently looking for help that bringing on someone full-time seems like a huge daunting task. And if that is the case, then that's when you're going to hire somebody part-time who is very experienced in this role. So if you're going through who your next hire should be, and you're really strong on maybe strategy, or you're really good at media buying, or you really enjoy kind of the back end side of it, but you realize you need somebody to talk to your clients, but maybe that's not full time. So if that risk is something that you want to avoid, or you don't really want to manage people, then that's a good time to bring in somebody like a contractor or somebody like us at Dot who has that experience and can do just as good of a job on a part-time basis.
And I think that's a really important thing to consider too. And it goes beyond client account management. It's media buying, and it's even ops and, admin. Having dedicated people kind of make up this really awesome dream team where they're the expert in their field and they're efficient and they're the person that can really take charge of that department.
Yeah. I think what we always like to say to agency owners is there's no right or wrong answer. And it just comes down to what you're like as an agency owner, where your business is going, what your risk tolerance is. and how much time and effort you want to put into training and you want to put into managing, considering that if you bring in a very experienced account manager, it's expensive and they expect high salaries, benefits, bonuses, and career advancements. And so those are things to consider when you are bringing in somebody full-time versus bringing in a contractor or somebody from an agency like ours, where part-time, we handle all those heavy lifting pieces like hiring, managing, paying, everything like that. And you strictly get to work on your agency. So it just kind of comes down to what your preferences are. No right or wrong. Just depends on you.
And that's a huge pain point. I'm going to say sometimes, but a lot of the time people come to us and they're like, I don't have time. Like I can't go out and post a job here and look through applications and do that sort of legwork to find that really special unicorn, which we are on the hunt for every single hour of every single day. So even part-time and full-time aside, that can be just a huge task in itself to even get started, get the ball rolling when you actually have a lot of that work done for you with somebody like Dot & Company.
Yeah. Well, if you are an agency owner looking to grow and scale in 2022 and beyond, and you're looking for support, whether it's hiring an account manager like us or getting the tools and processes to hire internally, we have all the options to support you. Our mission really is to help agency owners grow and get out of the day-to-day and really create this super efficient agency that serves you and your clients. So head over to dotandcompany.co and reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for listening into another episode of the Happy Clients Podcast.
Cheers to happy clients.